The United Kingdom, one of the world's richest nations, is facing a silent crisis. More and more families are struggling to survive, with some unable to afford even 2 meals a day. Poverty is rising, and the cost of living is pushing households to the breaking point.
What the actual hell is going on in the UK?
We take a closer look at why Britain's population is getting poorer and what this means for the future.
We're literally getting taxed left, right and centre. It actually getting to the point where I feel like most people are just working to survive. Like, they're literally living paycheck to paycheck. They don't do anything else other than go to work because you literally can't afford it. Like, actually, what kind of life is that? Like, what are we all doing? I think a lot of people are opening their eyes to actually what's going on in the UK now. Like, they're actually realising that we've all been kind of brainwashed into believing that we go to school, get an education, get a good job, when in actual fact that just keeps us trapped. And the lifestyle isn't even good here. The weather is crap. Everybody is miserable. I am literally fed up of being here, getting to the point where I am thinking about going elsewhere. There actually isn't any such thing as work-life balance for most people. Now, let me know, has anyone left the UK? If you've left the UK, where have you gone? Where's better? I need some options. Anyway, rant over. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Mass immigration is ruining Britain and making you poorer. Illegal immigration is making it even worse, and you even poorer. Step forward, US Vice President J.D. Vance. Britain is stagnating. Despite importing about 1 million people last year, the economy is flatlining, and GDP per capita, which is what we should all really care about, GDP per capita fell by almost 1% last year. Here's a revelation that you might have missed yesterday. Home Office officials cannot explain how handing out hundreds of thousands of skilled worker visas is actually economically benefiting Britain. And it's not a shock when you look at who some of the employers sponsoring skilled workers are. 56 kebab houses, 83 businesses with halal in their name. One butcher alone sponsored 918 visas. And then, what do loads of them do? They arrive as skilled workers, and then they apply for asylum, which, you guessed it, opens them up for a life on benefits. And this is what I really want to talk about. Labour have had an absolute shocker over benefits. Have a look at this terrible interview by Labour Minister Torsten Bell.
Could you live on 70 quid a week?
Absolutely not.
So why do you expect young people to?
We won't. We provide housing benefit as well, and we'll provide personal independence payments.
This is cash in their pocket. This 70
so
quid
are the
cash
things I
a
just
week.
mentioned to you. So are the things I just mentioned to you. That's how the benefit system works. If people need help with their rent, they receive that as well. If they need support with a disability, personal independence payments is there for that as well.
So to buy food, to pay bills,
yes.
70 quid a week. You've just told me you couldn't live on that.
Well, no, I have a mortgage to pay because of the current situation.
Yeah, anyway, so look, what Torsten Bell and Labour don't seem to get, and by the way, I will add, I think a lot of the media don't seem to get, is this. It's not just people on benefits who have to survive on 70 quid a week. No, I bet you right now that there are millions of people in Britain who go out, work every day, slave away, and by the time they've paid income tax, council tax, energy bills, ULEZ charges, rent, food bills, taxes, they are left with just about 70 quid a week. But we have got 1 million migrant households in Britain on benefits. We spend £1.1 billion, apparently, on universal credit for refugee households. That was in 2024. If you are an illegal migrant, you can get free accommodation, phones, driving lessons, you name it, we'll give it to you. People are right on the brink financially. Businesses are being taxed more than ever. Pensioners are going cold. People who actually need benefits, in some cases, are having them cut. Farmers having to sell their land. Do you see what's happening here? The only people not getting worse off are legal and illegal immigrants.
The United Kingdom used to be one of the wealthiest empires in history, but today it's drowning in debt, unable to pay its bill, and also struggling to feed its own people. And here's why. And apart from London as well as southeast England, the country as a whole is stagnant, struggling, as well as shrinking. And England already has sky-high taxes, and it doesn't want to raise that anymore. And it also doesn't export much compared to other countries like Japan, China, or Germany. And the sad part here is that England doesn't have much natural resources left as well, and the only thing it can do now is borrow. And in 2008, the UK borrowed more than $141 billion to bail out its banks. And over the next 15 years, England would have no real growth, investment, or stimulus. And many economists call this the lost decade. And disaster after disaster also piled onto the country. Brexit cut foreign investments by 25%, and COVID added another $300 billion in debt. And we also can't forget about the Ukraine war energy shortage, as well as another $100 billion in borrowing for emergencies. And as a result, the UK has to pay roughly $100 billion every single year just on the interest for its loans. And this also means less funding for healthcare, schools, as well as infrastructure. And you can say that the UK doesn't really produce anything anymore. Instead, it's simply borrowing. And as a result, the country is slowly dying.
The Bank of England chief economist says that Britons need to accept being poorer than before. According to him, people are unwilling to lower their living standards, with households demanding better wages and companies hiking up prices, which leads to rising inflation. So let's get this straight. Companies are reporting massive revenues. The elites are getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds. But it's the average British peasant that has to accept a lower living standard for the greater good. Just imagine being ruled by people who, instead of solving a problem, just look at you and say, "Oh, your life is shit, you can't afford food? Better get used to it, mate." But hey, at least Ukraine got those tanks, am I right?
The UK is finished. If you're currently living in the UK, you might want to reconsider, because it's about to get a whole lot worse. So this graph shows you the standard of living in the UK, and it predicts it over the next few years up until 2028. Just take a look at that. This massive drop after 2023 shows how bad it's going to get. The standard of living in the UK is going down the drain. And take a look at this. If you wanted to rent a 1-bedroom flat in suburban London, not even in central London, it will cost you 2.2k per month. Honestly, how can anyone afford this? Because the average salary in the UK per year after tax is 28k. And if you're renting a 1-bedroom flat, you would only have £130 per month left over for everything else. So no wonder so many people are in debt. Taxes are likely to go up, inflation is at an all-time high, and rent prices are unaffordable. There are so many different countries around the world where you can have a good standard of living. So why would you choose to live in the UK? It's already the second most unequal country in the world. Because honestly, if you stay in the UK now, it's just going to get so much worse. And yes, all countries do have their problems. But the way I see it, the UK is finished. And it's not getting better anytime soon. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you like the video, follow for more content.
100,000 British people have got so sick of their country, they've left, okay? They've gone to live somewhere else. And I'm one of them. I live in Bahrain, and it's beautiful, okay? And how it all started was I kind of just jotted down how much it cost for me to live, just to survive in the south of England. Then once I had that number, which was £2,700, by the way, I've got a wife and 3 kids, so it's a bit more expensive, all right? 2,700 just to live, like not going out or anything like that. So I went online, I went on Airbnb, I chose a country, and I'd said two adults, 3 children, 1 month. Things were coming up, bro. 1,000, 1,500 a month, everything included. Swimming pool, 4-bedroom villa, beautiful weather, and all that sort of stuff. And that was it. I was just, why am I paying so much to survive in this miserable, cold country where when I try and earn money, the government put up the taxes for me. So when my business starts getting to a place where it's in growth, and you know I can now employ people and things like that, they go, right, I want 40%, and you got to charge VAT now. What? See you later, mate. Right. So if you're in this predicament where you want to do what I'm doing, do the same. Write down all your expenditures, like so rent, council tax, bills, car, fuel. Minimum that you need for food shopping, right? So you've got how much money you need to survive every month. Then go on Airbnb and have a look at the difference. Choose the country, any country. Even in expensive places like Dubai, guys,